Michael Morbius.
Discover who you're meant to be. The bad guy.
Michael, what have you done?
I was trying to help people. But the cure.
It's a curse.
Michael.
I have powers that can only be described as superhuman. But there's a cost. Now, I face a choice. To hunt. And consume blood. Or die.
We all have monsters within us. It's up to us to control it.
What if I can't?
Michael Morbius.
You've been given a gift.
Not exactly.
Time to let go of what you used to be. Discover who you're meant to be.
All our lives we've lived with death. Why shouldn't they know what it feels like for a change? Just accept who you are.
The bad guy.
Morbius. Holy water? Really?
Yeah. You ever see Lost Boys?
Story of my life.
A new Marvel Legend arrives exclusively in movie theaters April 1st.
April Fool! It's not a new Marvel Legend. It's literally terrible. Hello and welcome to the period of Cable of Awesome. Today we are getting all batty about bats. That's right. One good bat movie and one terrible bat movie. I haven't hedged my bets about saying which one.
You're playing all your cards very early. Like you're really kind of letting them know exactly where we stand before.
I can only play poker with them face up. Honestly, let's be honest. Hello, how are you guys?
Hey, there's so many strong calls in that trailer, and I don't think they met any of them.
There's a part there I was like, I'd really love to commentate over the top of this trailer.
Yeah. Oh, do your own honest trailers and put it out.
Honestly, no. Hi, Peter. How you going? Did you enjoy all the movies we had to watch this time round?
I'm so glad we watched so many bat superheroes that I don't care about. It was great. I'm sorry, Jill. It's not that I don't respect it. It's just that, like, it's not on my list of things that I've been following for any time at all.
Yeah, I don't respect it. I just don't respect you, Jill. No, none of this bat stuff. This is batty bullshit.
And the fun thing was, like, originally we were going to do half the team doing Morbius and half the team doing Batman, and I was like, you know what? Like,
I would have been stuck on the shit half too. I'm so glad we both saw all of them.
Yay, we've got tickets to Morbius, and I was like, oh no.
We were the victims of that car break-in from the meme. That was us. We were the ones that end up with all the tickets.
Yes, take care. If everyone hadn't seen that meme, you find it. It's like, oh, take care. I had 2 tickets for Morbius in my front seat, and someone broke in and left 4 more.
That was us.
Yeah.
And it was great. I remember, like, we were in that screening and talking to the people afterwards, and like a whole bunch of people walking out of the cinema and going, "Oh." I mean, it's funny. Like I said to you guys, and it reminded me so clearly of a long time ago, back in 2000 and whatever it was, when Ghost Rider came out, and we were doing Cool Shot in the Tube back then, and we went and watched Ghost Rider, and the whole thing was Quinny loves superhero movies. Bruce loves Korean gangster films, and that became a running gag. Quinny loves superhero movies. We'll forgive anything if it's a superhero movie. And we're all in there watching Ghost Rider, and I'm watching you just go, oh, and came out, and everybody looked at me like, what's he gonna say? And I was like, no, shit. And everyone was like, oh my God. And that's what this felt like. A whole bunch of people going, what's he gonna? No, it's terrible. It's fun.
I was intrigued with the fact they didn't take any like audience reactions on the way out. No one's standing with the clipboard going, so what did you think? And it's like, ooh, no, you haven't got enough paper.
What was the point for you though, where you kind of went, no, like
probably the trailer.
15 minutes into the film.
I think it was.
Because Jill, you had some hope. You had some hope that it was gonna be quirky, maybe.
I did, because like as much as people love to pan Jared Leto, like I have kind of been enjoying some of the weird choices he's made lately. Like House of Gucci, I thought was, you know, even though it was a caricature, he did an amazing job. And We Crashed on Apple TV right now is kind of a mood. But this, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, let's see what he does with the superhero film. And I'm like, this is fucking garbage. I mean, look, if it had been directed completely differently, maybe it would have been good. Maybe.
Look, there's many things to say.
I looked into the source material and I might have something to say about that. But sorry, continue.
Morbius.
Okay, but like the source material for a lot of this stuff that we watch is very questionable to begin with.
Sure. Like, okay, and to be fair, like I want to say we're talking about 2 movies this week because we had to play. There's a lot of stuff going on, you know, with screenings happening again and stuff going to cinema releases and everything going around and us being busy and stuff. So we are doing the Batman and Morbius. I feel like we're throwing all of the Morbius stuff up front and not talking about the Batman enough. But that's okay. We just need to explain the rules of stuff that had happened. Is because 3 of us have done all the homework, and one of us has done half the homework and has been isolating at home because he's been unable to go, much to his great annoyance and our hilarity, because you got to see the shit one and not the good one.
Like literally, we watched Morbius, and the very next day I was locked down. And I was just like, you know, all I could do is sit there and stew in my anger at this shit film and just go. And meanwhile, you had a lovely time on Saturday, off going and watching the Batman.
Yes.
The Batman we went. So the Batman is very long. The Batman is very, very long. But okay, it's
maybe too long.
Yeah, maybe a little too long. Definitely a little too long. But you know,
it was self-indulgent on behalf of Matt Reeves for a 3-hour film. There's definitely some editing that could have been done.
3 hours of film, which is fine. Like if I hadn't had to watch Morbius, I might have been a little bit more forgiving with the time that I spent in the Bat world. Because yes, this was a terrible Lost Boys sequel in Morbius.
So do we want to synopsize Morbius and then just fall into a rant about that?
Yeah,
for as long as we like. Yeah, because I think that there's probably, you know, more rational discussion to be had around the second film that we
more constructive discussion. Yes.
But that's not generally how we work, because we're more than happy to hate fuck things for quite a long time.
I could rant for a long time, but we'll pull it back.
Disgusting, Quinny. Would you like some background music for your synopsis?
I would love some background music. Really? Go on, make it something appropriate.
Yes, so the only thing that's appropriate is.
Are you doing music yourself? Is that how we're doing this? Okay. Dangerously ill with a rare blood disorder and determined to save others from the same fate, Dr. Michael Morbius attempts a desperate gamble. While at first it seems to be a radical success, a darkness inside of him is soon unleashed. That's it. I mean,
I feel like I need to do a bit of
I have my own take on a synopsis for this.
Oh,
okay.
I can leave the music
sounds
going.
a little bit like that, but like dangerously ill with a vague genetic disorder. Dr. Morbius uses wibbly wobbly sciencey wincy to combine his DNA with that of a vampire bat, resulting in some vaguely bat-like qualities and many decidedly un-bat-like qualities, such as corpse face, abs, and inexplicable evil.
I love it!
Yep.
Much better.
On a scale of 1 to synopsis, that was 100% a synopsis.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that kind of makes it a little bit more sense. I mean, you know, Morbius with special effects that were left over from Daredevil. Like, how do we do sonar, like seeing, sensing things? Oh, we've got this wispy, waspy, fucked up one. It's like, no, that's too shit. We'll leave it later. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I love that whole sonar thing where it's like he's meant to be able to see by sonar, and every time the effect went on, I went, I can't see a fucking thing. I don't know what's going on. This is shit.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
But okay, Peter, you asked the question, when did I lose? Come back. You asked the question, when did I lose hope with this movie? Pretty much at the end of the first scene, and spoiler free or anything, the first scene is the one you see in the trailer where he's gone to South America and there's, you know, a bat cave, not
the bat cave, just a bat cave.
Bats.
Yeah, both movies have bats in a cave.
Yeah. And at the end of the scene where he's put his hand up and there's bats and stuff like that, and he didn't do anything for the rest of the film, and I don't know why that scene was there. And I went,
well, no, that's obviously how he caught the bats that were in his lab, and that the harp trap is actually a real thing that scientists use to catch bats to survey, you know, and you know, they might want to see what bats are around or tag them. Like I've seen those harp traps in action before. That's not how they work.
You mean you don't put a bloody hand on one side?
And then the bats fly into it in their tens of thousands.
That's also not how vampire bats work, as far as I'm aware.
But also, that was through a trap that didn't seem to show exactly how he caught the bats, because
because they just went around.
Yeah, it's completely ineffectual to catching bats.
Mm.
And then the next scene is him as a boy. So we jump back, and then Jared Harris is in that scene, and then a little bit later, Jared Harris is in the future, and Jared Harris hasn't aged at all. And I'm like, apparently he's the fucking vampire here.
Yes.
But then I was like, have the vaguely ill boys, because they're so ill, look like they've aged more than they have, and maybe they're actually just in their early 20s, and it's only been 10 years for Jared Harris? Maybe. That's how I justified that in my head. I was like, oh, it's because they're so ill, they look like they're in their 40s.
But actually, they're only 22.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool, let's go with that.
Cool. I think that, you know what? I think that a lot of people that were involved with this production were like, cool, I just want to get it finished. Can we just finish this? Like, I don't care
That's what
anymore.
I was saying towards the end of the movie. I just want to get this finished.
Yeah. It's like, could I just finish this now? I would like to just end.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Please.
And that happened worryingly quickly. And you're kind of watching it and just going, oh, I'd like this to be over now. And I'd really love it if and the thing is, we'd seen the trailers, and there were so many things in the trailers that you're like, oh, I can make, like, in the trailers, there are shots of him walking past posters of Spider-Man. The whole thing with fucking Michael Keaton. And you're like, okay, interesting. What's going on here? None of that.
But he bought a Daily Bugle, so obviously it's in the same cinematic universe.
But also he references Venom, and there was a joke in a trailer that landed terribly, and it actually landed worse in the film.
It did. So they didn't put the whole joke in.
No. I was just like, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, great. If you've got no context for Venom, you'll really get that joke.
But also, like, I love it that people are going, oh, there's this thing that happened over in San Francisco and stuff like that. Cops talk about it obliquely, you know, that thing that happened in San Francisco. But apparently Dr. Michael Morbius, you know, a renowned physician in New York, is aware of a weird alien fucking symbiote in San Francisco.
See, even I didn't make that connection, and I've watched those terrible movies.
I've watched them.
I didn't realize I was set in SF.
Look,
this is the thing. Like, it's
I found this whole like idea is like, oh, we've got Morbius, a new superhero, and even after finishing watching that, I'm like, what superhero?
He did nothing.
He saved
no heroics.
He
at
saved
all.
0 people. He saved.
No, he saved himself.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was going to say he saved more people before he got vampire powers with his synthetic blood. He saved more people before he got superpowers, and after he got superpowers, he actually hurt more people. That is not.
and
not a
drank
hero.
a lot more of the synthetic blood, but anyway.
Can I just, like, from a natural history perspective, it's not how bats work. I mean, even if, and I think what really kind of broke it, like, completely for me was the fact that the science, like all of the other fun Marvel things, there's always like this very clearly fantasy element to the science, like gamma rays or radioactive spiders that kind of puts you in the mood for like, this is fantasy and I'm going to go with it. But they just tried so hard to make the science in this sound like sciencey, which only gets you to the point where like, but that's not how DNA works. Like, say gamma rays or something that doesn't like exist, but that's not how DNA works.
Gamma radiation is a real thing, but the one in the Marvel comics is fantasy gamma radiation.
Exactly. Whereas they're just using like a lot of like, you know, real sounding sciencey stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine, but at least the bat creature that you turn into should have actual bat-like qualities.
I kind of want to see that. I want to see that honest, like, you know, science-based Marvel movies where like Bruce Banner gets irradiated with gamma radiation, and then it just cuts to like one of the scenes from Chernobyl of someone dying in a bed from radiation poisoning. It's like da 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 da. Hey,
The Incredible Dead.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk. Oh, no, he's dead.
But you know what? There always seems to be a caveat with the superheroes like getting their powers, is that, you know, this could have killed a normal person, but this very one special person had something that made them become this thing. But like with Morbius, it was just like, no, he did it to himself, and then somebody went and did it to themselves, and then basically it could have happened to everybody.
Yeah.
So
that was another one part of my things that I really hated, is where, you know, suddenly, you know, there's this vial of stuff, and Matt Smith has said, no, you can't have it, and then apparently off screen.
Yeah, like, he got one.
He's now got it. Like,
there's more to go into that in the spoilery section. Yes.
Which I don't know if we even want to bother really that much with spoilers for this, because we've got a lot of other things to talk about.
But
my only question is, do they know that bats can only fly because they have wings?
Oh my God. Just because there's updrafts doesn't mean you can glide.
His bones
you need to have wings.
Yes. In the comics, apparently his bones are hollow.
What's updraft?
Yeah, and having a blood disorder and you lose all your marrow, doesn't that just mean you're gonna fucking die?
Yes.
Why did he get corpse face and abs? Like, where do the abs come into it? I don't.
And also, like, why do you turn wispy when you move?
Yeah, why do you apparently get weird?
Yeah, why do you have smoke? Like, bats don't have smoke when they fly.
Anyway, he's the new Marvel superhero they're pinning all of the rest of the Sony Marvel movies on.
Yeah.
Oh,
a couple of things that
I do want to talk spoilers about this movie, because we have to discuss the piss poor post-credit scenes.
What? No, wait. What are we doing? Are we going
a spoiler, because it's in the fucking trailers.
Am I putting the spoiler logo up? When are we going to do a clip? Are we rating this? You've thrown my entire system out of order. What the fuck is going on?
Let's do ratings. And then we can bitch about spoilers.
Sure.
I mean, we haven't even started to bitch about the fact that there were only 3 women in the entire movie. 2 of them. Well, I mean, we can talk about that in spoilers.
Sure. I also love that, there were no female role models for the deathly sick kids.
Yeah. I am going to go first. I'm giving it 12.
Yay.
Because 12 minutes was probably as long as it had my interest for.
Yeah.
Was that just when Jared Leto had his shirt off for the first
No,
time?
that was very long, far way into the film.
right, okay.
Did he actually have a jacked up body? But no, yeah.
Okay. Did we get to see?
I wanted to leave the movie halfway through,
Yeah.
but I couldn't because I was with everyone. So.
God.
Yeah.
Pulled off double denim, but did she?
I don't remember how much I gave Matrix 4, but I think this was pretty much on par. No, wait, I think I gave Matrix 4 less than 10.
Really? So
Can't
this
remember.
is better than the Matrix
4
Part
was
4?
a far more sensical movie than this.
I'm not going to go that low because I didn't passionately hate this. I've watched movies that I've hated them while I was watching them, whereas this is just kind of this is ridiculous. This is stupid. This is stupid. So I'm going to go 30.
It was so stupid. It was insulting, though.
It was insulting, but I didn't like. There are movies that I've passionately hated. The very low numbers are reserved for that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm down there with you, Jill. I'm really struggling to go above 15. I found this annoyingly, insultingly bad on many, many levels. But mostly because it was really tedious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you felt yourself just going, get on with it, please. No, you're not getting on with it. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, another scene. And apparently, it's made me hate fucking Jared Leto even more.
You leave him alone.
He's going full method on set. I was reading about this today.
He's trying real hard to ruin all the franchises.
Sorry?
He's trying real hard to ruin all the franchises.
He's doing a red hot fucking go of it. He was going full method on set and walking around with the canes. And
oh, come on.
And apparently it got to the point where him going to the toilet was taking so long, they put him in a fucking wheelchair. Because it was just Jesus, Jared, get on with it.
That feels really gross to me.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit ableist to pretend that
did,
you're disabled?
Did you not, apart from the stories of going full weird Joker sending people condoms?
He's always been method, but that just feels really gross.
Also, why would you go method in the way that you don't want someone to go method? It's become a vampire like Nicolas Cage. Don't actually I really want to connect with the crippled side of me. It's oh God.
Yeah.
Stop it, Jared.
Oh, I want to walk a mile in their shoes. Gross.
He's the worst Jared of this film.
Yeah. Also, Tullendar says, interesting comparison between Morbius and Firebite. Yeah, Firebite's far better.
For a vampire.
It's better.
And
it's better. Go watch Firebite if you want to scratch a vampire itch.
Yeah, I read someone else's review that they wrote is it actually detracts from vampire mythology. This adds nothing.
It really does.
This adds nothing to vampires at all.
And I in the spoiler section I will talk and I will present a piece on how it actually detracts from the entire Marvel universe.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Do I get to give my rating, or you don't?
Yes.
No. Okay. Just checking. I'll probably give it an 84.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Oh wait, sorry, no, it's the other way around. I give it a 16.
The opposite of 84 is 16.
I took 84 marks off 100 for bad. It's bad.
I get it.
No, it's honestly, I came out of the movie very confused about everything, including why was this getting made this way? I didn't understand it. It didn't do anything for me.
Why specifically human blood? Vampire bats don't only eat human blood; they also don't eat the blood of others. Sorry, Dion.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. I just love that they hit the right. They had a lot of failed starts with Spider-Man movies, and then they hit a good one with the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and then they've just proceeded to release just very bad choices of other movies. Venom was it was weird, but
Sony can't make a Marvel movie without being handheld.
True.
Yeah.
And in this one, they were just like, no, you don't need to come in. Maybe they did it. They told all the executives from Marvel Studios is like, oh no, we're not doing that. We've done that already. You don't have to come in and don't look at us. Like, it's fine.
Well, apparently,
they're like, how's that project going? It's like, shut up. It's done. It's fine.
Apparently, the post-credit sequence that everybody hates so fucking much, Feige wasn't aware of it, and was
Of course
like,
not.
"Fucking what?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Quick Morbius clip, and then we'll come back and do spoilers for Morbius. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
5-minute spoilers because we've got a whole lot of film.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
As a result of my procedure, I have an overpowering urge to consume blood. For the first time in my entire life, I feel good. Yesterday, I could barely walk. Today, I don't know what I'm capable of. I have the constitution of an Olympic athlete, increased strength and speed that can only be described as superhuman. And all of this on artificial blood. I've become something different.
Oh my God, that's like what? Apparently, this makes you commune with bats.
This movie was a lot of telling us stuff and not showing us stuff.
Sure.
So much telling.
Hang on, wait. I'll put the spoilery thing on so everybody knows.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, I love Matt Smith.
Why?
But why?
But
why Matt Smith?
Why?
The thing that got me about him is how often he looked terrible. Like, the effect work on Morbius was kind of okay-ish some of the time, but Matt Smith, whenever he vamped up, I was like, oh, that looks fucking awful.
I think
Like,
because he's supposed to be the villain, so they have to make him ugly.
No, but I mean, it looked like a bad special effect. Not that he looked ugly. I think it looked like a terrible special effect. Whereas Morbius actually looked like proper makeup sometimes, almost 100% of the time. I was looking at Matt Smith going, that's a shit fucking facial digital replacement.
I just feel like they took a lot of different scenes from a lot of different movies and plugged them together, hoping that they would come up with a really nice formula. And I mean, why would you take the terrible dancing from Spider-Man 3 and chuck that in your film with Matt Smith suddenly becoming, yeah, I've got power. I've got my shirt off. It's like, no, Matt, please. No one wants to see you with your shirt off.
I have a special shout out to the costume department that absolutely fucking sucked.
Phoned it in.
Holy shit. Whoever decided that no matter what Matt Smith character wears, he has to have his KT20s on. Like, what was with those sneakers?
I was looking at them going, why does he wear shit looking sneakers the whole
They look like the sneakers that my dad wears that he has worn for like the last 30 years that you can get for $8 at Big W. They're so awful.
If you have,
I'm
if
sure
you
it
have
was
a
meant
blood
to be
disease,
a character point, but
if you have a blood
But
disease,
why would you
obviously
wear
you lose fashion sense. It's
an amazing suit, and he's obviously really rich because they put him in a super bougie hotel room apartment, but he just wears these dodgy ass sneakers.
yeah, that
Oh my
was-
god, Adski, they were worse than New Balance. Like New Balance has like a reputation of being like at least a label for some kids, but like no. If go and Google KT20s, that's what I'm talking about.
So spoiler wise, what are the things that really, really fucking didn't work, or that we, because hey, we're in spoiler territory, everybody.
Yes.
If you were planning on watching this film,
don't. Just
Don't.
don't.
Please,
Like,
please don't.
yeah,
It's not even bad in a fun way.
Yeah,
Right.
like in the sense of don't burn bandwidth on it. Really, you don't have to. I mean, if someone's got what is watching it at someone else's party, sure, maybe stick around and
Maybe.
just see what the fuck is this. But it doesn't add anything to anything. And also,
no, it doesn't. But that I'm talking reviews. Let's talk about actual spoilery things. What were the
Yeah.
things that didn't work? Because I mean,
All of
I'm
the
happy to
things.
throw it up straight away and go, those post-credit sequences were offensively shit.
Yes.
oh yeah, like just
Yeah.
not even shoehorning in Michael Keaton, just like what would you call it, spack fillering Michael Keaton. across
completely ignoring any of the plot that happened in No Way Home and just retconning that from your own universe is what they did. Because, you know, everybody was supposed to have gone back home to where they were supposed to have been in No Way Home. And then in this movie, they're like, no, Michael Keaton has come to this universe now and he's staying there.
Yeah.
For no good reason, because he was actually one of the people who did know who Peter Parker was.
Yeah. And
So-
I think he probably still remembers because he knows about Spider-Man.
Oh, no, but he says something about, literally, the line is, I don't know, it's probably got something to do with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck was the right against that line of dialogue?
Sorry.
And he has his whole vulture costume. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Like he's got his vulture.
But also, I
costume
love
back.
that the second, because there are two. The first one.
Yeah, and they both have Michael Keaton in it.
Yeah, and clearly was shot at a different time. And then the second one was just Jared Leto and a CGI effect with the voice of Michael Keaton, because there was no fucking way that dude was on set.
Because he left his helmet on. But I mean, what the fuck was going on there? Because it clearly establishes like Morbius is a superhero. That's what they're trying to say here. And yet during this whole thing, he hurts more people. He doesn't save anyone. He does nothing heroic once he gets his vampire powers. And at the end, he teams up with a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you saying for more? Like, why is Morbius here? Like, you know, he stopped.
The thing that makes me angry about it so much is that what it's done is taken one of the best villains that Spider-Man had out of the main Marvel continuity and put it into a shit continuity that doesn't technically have a Spider-Man in it. Like, it's just asinine, and you're like, why would you do that? Like, the Vulture was a great villain in that first film. He had so many great scenes, and I was like, yeah, I fucking dig that guy. Oh my God, why would you do that? Also, the bits in the trailers are nothing like what's in the post-credit sequence.
Yeah.
So they've clearly gone back and reshot stuff.
Or just re-edited it, like trying to fix it in post. And one thing I want to ask Peter, based on the science stuff here, can you please explain to me how the blood disorder thing works? Because all he's managed to do is extract shit from bats, refine it into something he injects into himself. It turns him into a man-bat sort of weird creature with floaty bones. That's what we've established. Then someone else takes that serum, stabs it with themselves. They become hey, vampires are cool. I'm just going to start eating people because why the fuck not? And then one tiny drop of blood falls from Jared Leto's Morbius lip into a human being who then gets vampire powers.
From the weirdest
from a vampire perspective.
From a vampire perspective.
If you take from vampire lore into consideration, that makes sense.
That makes sense from a vampire lore, and from what I've read about the source material of Morbius. It's not that a tiny drop of blood fell; it's that he fed off her and stuff. But none of that makes any sense. Because I mean, vague genetic disorder that's never really explained, and lots of sciencey language, and suddenly man bat, but not really bat, because most of the qualities that he has inherited are nothing to do with bats. Bats, by the way, not evil or cannibalistic.
No.
Lovely.
So,
vampire bats are a thing, but it's due to like a last resort sort of thing. It's not their first choice of food.
They will feed on, well, mostly birds, sometimes mammals. They don't specifically go after one species, and they definitely don't go after each other. So I don't understand why Morbius couldn't just have cow's blood. Like,
so, but when he refined the bat blood and then injected himself, so it had no more semblance to the bat blood, yet he still had a connection and a kinship with bats, and he could control bats and turn them into
so many
flying bat
you
fists.
Can't. You just can't.
Bugged me in this. Jared Harris dies for no particularly good reason, and does a whole kind of do it for me, and we're like, we don't give a fuck about you, Jared Harris.
Why the fuck are you here, Jared Harris? You're just a bit player in a terrible pantomime.
But then the girlfriend, who also is like, drink my blood, make it count. But after the weirdest romantic sequence I've ever seen, where just close your eyes now.
But it was the same moment twice within 5 minutes. Dying, make it count. Dying, make it count. Like,
I know how to make it. I know how to make it count. I'm going to team up with a supervillain.
Okay, we're 40 minutes in.
Let's talk about the good movie.
Can we switch bats? I would
You
love
wanna
to
switch
switch bats because we could go another hour just
Sure.
being angry.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Easy review for Morbius is dead on arrival.
It was shit.
It's shit.
Yeah.
Don't. It's bad. All right. So should I play a trailer of the other film, the Bat film, or do you just want to talk about the Bat film?
No, play the trailer and then
Sure,
we'll
okay.
do it like it's the next.
That was Morbius. Now we're going to talk about the good one.
Yeah.
From your secret friend.
Underneath the bridge,
Who?
Topper sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped
Having a clue.
all become my pet.
Let's play a game. Just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
You're becoming quite a celebrity. Why is he writing to you?
If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
Whoa! This guy's crazy!
You're part of this too.
How am I part of it?
You'll see.
Oh yeah, it's the creepy good Bat one. Still too long, but good Bat one.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh yes, finally, yes, the Batman. Not to be
Not
to be
I really
confused-
thought I was gonna fucking hate this movie, but I am so glad that I loved it.
Yes, not to be confused with Batman. Batman Returns.
No, this is
Batman
the Batman.
and Robin. Batman. Batman Forever. Batman and Robin. The Dark
Batman
Knight.
Return of the Joker, Batman Mask of the
Dark
Phantasm,
Knight Rises.
Batman Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a lot of Bat movies, and all of them fall into the same trap of, holy shit, do we have to keep finding out why he's Batman? And then a plethora of pretty poorly executed villains.
It turns out you don't.
It turns out all you needed to do was just make it like super 90s angsty and just
All you have to
take
do
that
is just shut up
attitude
and tell a story. Like, stop rehashing. Just shut up and tell a story. And that's what
just
they
for
do.
me, who hasn't seen it,
Yes.
is there a sequence where you see a gun and the pearl?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
fucking hallelujah.
Nope.
You
There's
never-
no
yeah.
crime alley.
I am so glad.
Yes, no more pearls on the ground. No one references pearls. There's no pearl
No.
necklaces. There's nothing around about
no.
pearls.
I mean, they mention that the parents are dead, but they don't go into any other detail.
I know.
Good.
Look.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. Yes, no bat nipples.
Nope.
No bat Amex.
No. Oh my god, all the campy kitschy stuff from fucking George Clooney's movie that I forgot about.
Oh no, some of those were fucking Val Kilmer.
No penguins with rockets strapped to their backs.
Hey, I love the penguins with the rockets.
Sure. I mean, look.
No,
honestly,
ice skates in boots.
I still think Danny DeVito's penguin is by far the greatest penguin that's ever been committed to film, and I will stand by that.
Yeah.
The mobsters in this weren't great, but that's okay. The Catwoman in this is fine. Still no Michelle Pfeiffer. I still prefer that one as well.
Look, it's very different. Like there's nothing in this movie that was camp. All of the camp stuff has been left behind, and I enjoyed this movie so much because what it did was it told a detective story. Batman is the world's greatest detective, and to have completely ignored that from any past iteration of Batman has just hurt my soul so much. And so for this whole movie to just be about solving a mystery was like, oh God, yes, finally. Holy cow.
I'm excited because these are the kind of things that, you know, for those of us who loved Batman the animated series or, you know, Batman, many of the different comics over the years, there are things that we've been wanting for a really long time. You know, I want to see Batman be smart. I want to see Batman be a detective and, you know, he doesn't have to have a car that shoots rocket launchers and does all that crazy shit. He doesn't need all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and this is, I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to see it.
I mean, this is a Batman that very obviously has money to do all of this stuff, but doesn't flaunt the money like previous Batmen have.
I mean, I can't get behind the whole idea that, you know, I know that I've got billions of dollars, but what I need to do is go out at night and beat the shit out of people. You know, like, Christ, you know, honestly, he's the worst epitome of billionaires in the world because he goes out at night and beats the fuck out of people, even though he proclaims to not care about the money, except that's what's funding all of his beating the shit out of people. Fine. That's the problem with Batman. But I honestly gotta say,
that's the problem with Batman on film.
And well, also Iron Man. Anyway, I did not expect to like this movie. I like this movie more than I thought I would, but also it still has a lot of problems. So I don't want to give it too much. But also Peter is looking sweetly there. Explain to us, Peter, your favorite Batman and why it's this one.
I mean, honestly, guys, I was so resentful that I had to spend 3 hours watching this film. I was not.
I didn't get that vibe from you during the film.
Was there a lot of huffing?
I did not want to watch 3 hours worth of a new Batman film. I did not like the previous Batman films. Not a Nolan fan.
What?
I know, like, I'm not a Nolan fan. I may be in the few, I suppose. But and 3 hours, guys, come on, 3 hours.
Yeah.
I kind of really like this movie. I was sitting there thinking, you know, like this is. I checked the time a couple of times, and you're right, it could have been a little bit shorter. But I was digging it because it's super noir-y. Like it looks and feels like a modern film noir with a twist. And Bat and Pat, or
Bat and Pat.
Pattinson.
I like Pat.
Is a kind of super endearing. Like,
yeah,
I liked him as Batman.
Yes.
I probably liked Batman more than I've ever liked Batman.
Which is interesting because from all of the trailers, I've not gotten a strong feeling for him at all.
Exactly. Specifically, I was like, oh my God, this emo Batman is going to kill me. I'm not into this. I don't want to have anything to do with this. And then, like, he was just so, he's kind of just got this like little emotional wounded bird thing going on that is like a little bit like, oh, I just want to like make him feel better, or at least I want Selena to look after him a little
Yes.
bit, make him
Oh
feel
my
better.
God,
Like
Peter,
he's tapped into like the worst part about psychology. He's like a little emotionally damaged hero person.
It's really good because you can actually tell that this is a very this is a small child boy with a lot of psychological trauma who is suddenly doesn't know how to release it, and the idea is like, I can just adopt a bat persona and scare the piss out of people, if not beat the piss out of people, while
And
everyone
Peter,
everyone is around him going, you need help, dude.
Yes, and I am so glad that that is what you read from it, because far too often have actors come in and they've played Batman and Bruce Wayne as two different people, and they're very much not. And Robert Pattinson was able to walk that line of like, is he Batman? Is he Bruce Wayne? And it's like, no, they're the same person.
Well, the question
like
is
Bruce
always,
Wayne
who
is
the mask.
Yes, and that's Bruce Wayne. And so, he is Batman first. And I loved the way that he played this character. He was just very much in that mindset of early Batman of like, I don't care what happens to me. I'm just out there to do this job. If I die, whatever. And I just nailed it.
Yeah, I think he kind of nails it, but also one of the things that, do you know what this reminded me a lot of? It reminded me a lot of Seven.
A lot of people have said that.
Yeah, in the way that it creates like the city is a mood, and that it affects the characters that are in that place. So I feel like this Gotham is a mood that drags characters into certain ways of acting, and that's a really interesting thing I found around it. Like, any of these people could easily go into a campy Batman style or something a little bit lighter because it wouldn't have been affecting by their mood. But, look, it's a very definite stylistic choice.
That's the thing that people say about films a lot of the times. They're like, the city is another character. And is that the case with this one, that Gotham is actually an important part?
I mean, almost. There was a couple of times where it almost dipped their toe into like, oh, you're getting a little bit farcical here, just like bring it back. And it does kind of feel like, yes, Gotham could be a character in the sense of it houses all of these people and all of these personalities, and that tends to play throughout the film, the different personalities.
I felt like in Joker did a really interesting one because they just took Manhattan, like the urban sprawl of Manhattan and New Jersey, and sort
70
of and then like washed it with sepia tones and made it kind of its own vibe. And that it felt like this Gotham was that bit dark, like at night, that kind of thing. And it's rainy, it's at night. You never really see the city. You don't get that over the top Gothic architecture that was sort of set there from the Tim Burton ones. You don't get this is Chicago standing in for Gotham that you get from the Nolan ones. At least this one kind of felt like, oh, this does feel like a city that you can't really place because it doesn't have a lot of external set pieces. Like
I always love the description that Gotham is New York from like Soho down, and Metropolis is from Midtown up.
Yeah,
they're the same city, but just different parts of the same city.
Yeah, look, it's really interesting. It's
I loved Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon, by the way. I thought he was very good in this film.
Yeah, I still want Gary Oldman.
Is this confirming that the Watcher is in fact in all the universes? And
yes, absolutely.
And they've announced that he's getting a spin-off HBO series, which I'm excited for. But they've also, for some reason, given a series to the Penguin as well, which I'm like, okay.
Well, the GCPD was meant to get a spin-off series, and then that kind of fell over, and I don't quite know why.
Well, this is going to be GCPD again, but with Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Look, I mean, having Jeffrey Wright in it is like he was perfectly serviceable James Gordon. Like, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
Harry's good.
Colin Farrell's weird penguin.
He's so
Who is
unrecognizable.
totally unrecognizable in this. Like, at least there's that one thing. I was like, who was that? Oh, it was. Wait, what? Colin Farrell?
Yeah, wait, what?
Wait, what? Everyone else that was in there was fine. They sort of ticked the boxes. It just it worked really well. I think I like that because Pattinson's Batman worked because it showed a few different things that we haven't seen done too well on film. Would you agree with that one? We're just going to say, like, we at least got to see some analytical detective work in the sense that when, this is like early Batman, he's still, not except by the police. Jim Gordon's gone out of his way to allow him access to crime scenes and shit, and the other cops are not happy with it. And he's just walking around looking at stuff. And
you know what I love about this movie?
Deducting, and it's just
it was
nice.
Show, don't tell. And all they did this whole movie was just show him doing stuff, and you're like, what is going on? Like, he's walking around, he's staring at stuff. And then, like, you realize later, oh, he has contact lenses with cameras in them that is like analyzing these crime scenes.
Yeah, are we in spoiler territory?
No, not really.
No,
I mean,
early.
there's a conceit in the film that he at least does detective work, which is he'll go to a crime scene and he's got a camera like in a contact lens, which is recording everything he sees. So when he's finished with doing whatever he does, he goes home and then he reviews footage.
Yeah.
To look for stuff to try
unlike
to figure it out.
Morbius, where he told us the whole time what he was doing rather than just show us, this is, he's showing us his process without having to tell us. We get to actually watch it all happen.
Yeah, he's not a genius. He just spends a lot of time doing the homework.
Yeah.
For its 3 hours in length, it is a structurally sound mystery film. It unfolds in a way that continues to be compelling despite its length, and that's, I think, one of the things that I really liked about it. It wasn't just Batman goes out and punches people, as you say. That would have been kind of boring to me. And it wasn't, Batman, explores his darkest urges and anger by going out and punching people, which I feel like was all of the Nolan films. This was actually, a mystery, questions being set up that kept you interested, and things being set up and paid off at a rate that kind of worked over the 3-hour period. And it was beautiful as well. Like, it's a very pleasing film to watch. So there's, you guys are like, it could be shorter. I'm like, it could be shorter.
I mean, I think if they took out...
I didn't hate sitting there for 3 hours.
No, I didn't either. But I really feel that if they'd removed one character from, like, the story in the mystery, they probably could have reduced the runtime and still had just as good a movie.
Yeah, I mean...
It's beautifully... Sorry, Dion.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, it falls in the same problem superhero movies in general seem to get these days is, who is the villain? Why are there so many of them? Can we not just focus on one? In this one, it just had too many villains.
Yeah, that's why I feel like take one out. And
which made me feel watching this film like this is very definitely 2 separate films that have been pushed
which is
together.
Something that bugged me with like Spider-Man 3. That was, and this is where we first learnt the rule. When you've got too many villains, the movie goes to shit. And we saw that, that with The Dark Knight, that was pretty solid, but then included 2 villains, and we were like, I don't really know that we needed Two-Face in that one.
Yeah. Look, we've got...
And then Dark Knight Rises, and you're like,
in this, you've got Penguin, Riddler, and Falcone. That's 3 villains.
And Catwoman. And
she's not even really a villain.
She's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
They got very dangerously close to having a 4th villain, which I am glad that they edited out.
Yeah. And that
I've seen the shots.
Yeah, and that was just one of those ones where it's just like, ooh, this is... I would have been very happy splitting this into 2 films and releasing the Batman and then the Batman Part 2. I probably would have been like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. it would have been tight. It would have been interesting to elongate a few things and to tighten up another couple of things, because I think there was a mob story, and then there's the serial killer story, and I think they could have wrapped the mob one in the first one, and then finally caught the serial killer in the second one, and it would have been pretty great. But in this one, I just think it's a little bit too long. I know, this is me going, I'm a fan and still not happy.
Look, sure, absolutely. but I mean, I think there's something to be said about, if something is being kind of beautiful and compelling, it's okay to just experience it, I guess. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't care about Batman or any of the characters. And I was like, I'm not hating sitting here watching this. And I mean, Zoe Kravitz is amazing. Catwoman
she's a good
is
Catwoman.
amazing. And I have to say, I think this film had the same amount of female characters as Morbius, but pissed me off way less because Catwoman is so great.
I was really disappointed by the very supreme lack of female characters in this, or decent female characters in this. I mean, only because it's like, come on, just a little bit more.
I mean, there are so many opportunities. There are always so many opportunities just to put in one more.
I also love how everyone is so forgiving about the fact that they will just continue to release Batman films, even though it's fine. But you put one other female-led superhero film out there, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is terrible. I hope they never make another one." It's like, come on.
Especially because that was Catwoman, and it nearly fucking derailed the entire superhero movie industry for a while.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's interesting. But also, I kind of liked how rough and tumble and weird and kind of unpolished this Batman is as a character, and also unpolished with all of the stuff that he uses with. Like, you expect him to be full of gadgets and stuff like that. I have to say, really like the Batmobile. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to make a new one.
I'm like, it's kind of nondescript, but
boring. It's like, this is boring. And then when you're seeing it on screen moving around and what it does, you're like, fuck, okay. Yeah, that's a Batmobile. That is a Batmobile, and I believe that Bruce Wayne could have made it in his spare time. Because it is just basically it's kind of a muscle car tank, but it feels like he could have welded it together himself.
I would like to assign some reading homework to our viewers that if you are keen, 3 comics that heavily influenced this story that I found is Batman Year One, The Long Halloween, and Hush. Those 3 books, all very heavily drawn from for this movie, and are 3 of my favorite books. Yeah. They're all pre-New 52 stories, which is, in my opinion, the best part of Batman's history is pre-New 52. But yeah, those books are so good. Some of my favorite stories. So of course, watching this movie, I'm just like, oh, this is amazing. This is the best parts. So good.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out to Ardella, who's been in the chat, who's been making some interesting points about mental health and
yes.
And
if only Arkham Asylum did its job.
Yeah. Also, just FYI, that series, the spin-off series, is no longer about GCPD at all. It is now about Arkham Asylum.
Okay. What?
Which I'm like, fuck. Well, have we not covered that enough?
I mean, I'm really enjoying. Like, I enjoyed a bit of the backstory, and there might be spoilers. Yeah, I'll hold to say spoilers about some of the history that they went into with the families of Gotham.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Sure. Maybe that's today's conversation.
Sure, because Quinny, I know you haven't seen it, and people who haven't seen it in the chat too. We might just have to. You pull the headphones out or mute it for a second until you can see Quinny talking, and then you know that we're not talking spoilers anymore.
Have we spoken about the lovely 2-tone score?
Oh, yes. Favorite thing.
Super angsty.
Yeah, it was like a nice little mashup with Ode to Joy.
Ave Maria.
Ave Maria, that was it.
And the Imperial March from Star Wars.
It would have been fine if it wasn't the 2 notes that are in the Imperial March. Because it was the 2 notes that are in the Imperial March, I was constantly distracted by it not going ba 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 ba. It's like, you know what? We've decided, like, Batman is like Jaws. He only needs 2 notes the entire time.
They're for his ears.
It looks.
They're tuning forks.
Oh God! Don't mockery this Batman. He's really angsty.
I
He's
can't.
got so
I've
much
got nothing to add to this
angst.
other than the trailers look cool. And is it like I've heard the description that it is very much like a movie that is seen through the rearview mirror of a car at night in the rain.
There is an
It's
entire
dark.
scene that is shot at night in the rain, and usually I get extremely pissed off if I can't see what's happening in an action scene. But it was just so pretty. I was like, no, I'm into this. I'm into this.
You and Jill really got a lot of joy out of this, and I think you were very surprised by that, weren't you, Pete?
I think maybe in my head I had set the bar so low.
Yeah. Look, it's got a lot of good blacks in it, but like Seven, unless you're watching it on a decent TV where it's a dark room and stuff, you're going to miss a lot of the kind of subtle nuance-ish stuff. Although, to be fair, yeah, I agree with you, Pete. There's a few scenes in there, action scenes, where you're like, oh, wait, I can't really tell what's going on. Oh, it's a bit too dark. But when they actually did interesting stunt work with some of the fight scenes that I saw on there, especially the one between Batman and Catwoman, that was in there, I was actually kind of like, oh no, this is fine. Like usually I'm complaining, like, I can't see what's going on because they get the camera too close. In this one, it doesn't pick it up because you're like, wait, it's too dark or people don't know what's going on. And like in this one, I was just kind of like, oh no, this works. And this also works a lot like for this Batman because he is a brawler and pretty shit at it. Like
Yes.
I kind of
Yes.
like this because it is year 2 Batman, and Batman is not as graceful as he should be, or he's just a little bit too direct. So he's more likely to take a hit in order to deliver a hit instead of getting out of the way. And that's kind of fun to watch Batman sort of be a bit shit at things. Although I will say, why do people not aim for the head? Like, fuck's sake, everyone in this just shoots at Batman's chest. And I was like, ugh. Come on, everyone. You got high-powered rifles. Aim for the head.
Because he's got a cool mask and it's a helmet.
No, everyone just shoots him in the chest. It's like, dudes.
The most heavily armored part.
Yeah. Four people in front of you shot him in the chest and it did nothing. And your idea is to be like, you know what? I'll get him this time. Shoot him in the chest again. Okay, fine. Anyway, sorry.
Ratings.
Ratings? Okay.
I am going to give it an 89 because there was no Michael Keaton in this movie. So no. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would like to see it again as soon as I can.
Come and watch it with me.
Yeah, okay. Once you get out of ISO, I'll go see it with you.
Great.
I am going to go and reread those books that I mentioned.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you?
I might have to give them a read before I start watching.
Peter, what would you rate it?
I think I'm going to give it an 87.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, which is it's pretty high for me. But I think what's happened is really the bar in my head was so low. Like the bar in my head could not have been lower than this film. So I'm pleasantly surprised that I actually had a nice time. And I would probably not at the cinema because I don't have time, but I'll watch it again when it comes out on streaming for sure. I would actually probably look forward to watching it again. Yeah, enjoyed. Good movie. Surprised.
Excellent.
I have nothing to add. I cannot rate.
You can do it based on our review.
I will rate later. Buy now, rate later.
I'm going to give it 85 out of 100 because it's a pretty decent crack at a Batman film. And
sorry, Peter, was yours 87? Thank you. I was doing another thing.
Yeah, and honestly, I really enjoyed seeing just a different kind of Batman on the screen who didn't rely on a lot of gadgets. Like he still had gadgets, but it was very simple. Like he rode around on a motorbike 90% of the time, not in a bat uniform, just because it allowed him to move around without being seen. So, kudos for playing it in the real world. Like a guy on a motorbike isn't going to get pulled over. A guy in a bat costume on a motorbike, he's definitely going to get pulled over. I love the fact that he did things like reviewed the day or the night's stuff on his laptop after he got back to the bat cave, or what you want to call it, because that's how he deduces things. He doesn't have too many gadgets, and most of them are pretty believable. Points off though for the holster on his leg. Going to be like, okay, that was a weird choice of having basically like a giant pouch.
Kind of ruins the silhouette.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but that's maybe why they don't have a lot of Batman silhouettes and stuff going on. But that's okay. It kind of worked. Also, I believed him as just a real fucking asshole. Like, I would not want to be Bruce Wayne's friend. And Batman is just
he doesn't have many.
And Batman is a dick. Like,
yes.
Batman's a dick, and Bruce Wayne is a complete asshole. Who would want to be his friend?
You know what? The only way you can get me to rate 100 on a Batman movie is if you have Matches Malone in it.
Deep fucking cut.
Right? Could you imagine just like Bruce Wayne in a mustache going around pretending to be Matches Malone to get like intel? Like, I'm dying to see that.
I'd be into that. I'd be totally into that.
You know, they could have done that in this movie, I reckon. This is the movie to do it in, I think.
Maybe the sequel, you know.
Nice. So I guess we should go to a clip, and then you can talk spoilers, during which I will turn
which clip would you like? Would you like a bit of the old Penguin and the new Batmobile, or do you want to see the cat burgling woman?
I like both of them.
Don't make me choose.
I don't know. Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice? All right, then. If it's dealer's choice, let's get into it.
Okay.
Trading for a package of sunshine and ravioli. Macaroni, if you want the thing you love.
You did it! Congratulations! World's best cup of coffee. Great job, everybody. It's great to meet you. Hi.
Come on.
I honestly feel
it's just perfect bit of bat tussling.
Perfect.
Weird that they included that cafe scene.
I wasn't aware that Will Ferrell was in this. Like, which villain is he? Is he the Joker?
He's the Riddler.
Oh shit! Spoilers, man.
He's in the green outfit. Like, yeah. He finds the world's best cup of coffee. Amazing.
Yeah, hang on. The world's best cup of coffee with a question mark in the font.
Oh, you've seen the trailer.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, I know. Yes, and it's true. Yes, you get a lot of sexual tension between Batman and Catwoman with a very limited amount of screen time, and it's kind of nice to see that working. Yeah.
Well, this is the point where I go and play on my phone for a while.
Okay.
Maybe, do some other stuff. So I'm just going to mute you. I'm going to keep an eye out and just wave wildly.
Just frantically.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I accidentally left the spoilers logo up all during the non-spoiler bit of the Batman, but whatever, it's fine. We'll just talk about it. Just put your headphones in, Quinny. Maybe eat a sandwich.
If I had a sandwich, I would eat one. Trust me. But I don't. So I'm just going to mute you and drink and play Wordle.
Enjoy this. Quick, everyone text Quinny spoilers.
Wordle spoilers. Tell Quinny what today's Wordle is.
No, I'm definitely out. Bye.
Anyway, the thing that I hated the most about the Batman, oh Jesus, I don't know.
What? Did you actually hate stuff?
I don't know.
About this
Can he
movie?
hear me? Like, I'm hoping that
No, he's gone.
Good. He's walked off.
He walked
Okay, yeah, excellent. Just walks away from the whole screen there.
So Ardella wants to point out the connection between the Gotham families and the lobotomized sister of JFK, Rosemary.
Yes, and that was something that we talked, like I think I brought up a bit earlier about. It went into the history of the families of Gotham, which was the Waynes being one of the founding fathers.
Martha Wayne, in this universe, Nee Arkham, was not an Arkham in the comics. She was a Kane. And that's why Kate Kane is Batman's cousin. So the Arkhams were very definitely a separate family to the Waynes and the Kanes. There were many families that built Gotham.
Martha Arkham? Martha Arkham.
I don't know if there
Yeah.
was a book where Martha was an Arkham. Maybe if someone in the chat can tell me if that happened in like
Yeah.
the Flashpoint book, because there was a story where she became the Joker and Thomas Wayne became Batman. So I don't know, but I'm like 99% sure she was never an Arkham in any stories.
Yeah,
So
and it's kind of
that
weird.
was
Like,
interesting.
I like the idea that they sort of sat there and, okay, the Waynes were industrialists who, you know, as we all know, industrialists are not the great benefactors of society. And the Arkhams were the people who are tasked with, you know, they created Arkham Asylum, which is a failed psychological torture zone for people who never seems to cure anyone. They just chuck people in Arkham. Like, I kind of look at them as the two pillars that they've held up in the background of this story and gone, interesting way you're going there. You know, like failed industrialists and failed mental health practitioners come together to create a city based on the fact that everything is fucked. And
It's kind of a weird, you know, thing to put in your story as like another plot device, because I'm like, where did that actually lend to any of the storytelling that was happening now besides Edward's character, the Riddler's character?
Which, okay, this one was really good. Like, I mean, I like the serial killer aspect of this one because, and that was an interesting thing that they were talking about years ago, wasn't it? That the Riddler was a serial killer, and that was going to be the next kind of Batman film about the Riddler being a serial killer. And I was like, I like that idea. That makes it work for me. And this one, I think it did that quite well. It's a bit Saw, movie Saw. You know, plot lines like, oh, a series of intricate traps with a riddle. Nah, you know, kind of like, that's all right.
Yeah. I do kind of feel like, you know, trying to unhinge Batman through his family is something that is probably not really earned until a later movie. It kind of felt a bit too soon to be doing that kind of stuff. For me, like, targeting Bruce Wayne as another person to take down in this whole shakeup of the people that have wronged him in Gotham, I don't know. I think it was a bit of a stretch. I'm like, okay, Bruce Wayne really hasn't been in the picture for a while, and you're kind of only taking it out on him because his father's dead. So, yeah, I don't know. That logic for that part of the story just didn't land for me.
Yeah. So I think that the point Ardella was making as well is it adds another peg in the pile of, that's not really a phrase, is it? It just adds one more problematic mental health moment in the Batverse, that, you know, the whole reason that it appears that the Waynes were killed is over trying to hide mental health issues in the family because it's seen as such a shameful thing. So just continuing to be like not amazing on the mental health front in general in the Batverse.
Yes.
Well,
yes, kind of what it's known for. You know, everybody breaks out of Arkham Asylum.
The only way to solve crime is to punch it repeatedly until everyone is afraid of doing crime. Unless it's white collar crime, and then you get away with it. Which is also a common theme through most of the Batman stuff.
I want to point out my favorite thing from this movie, although I think I've kind of said everything is my favorite thing, but this one was really, really my favorite thing, and I didn't want to spoil it for Quinny. But I think this is the first time where Batman has actually truly been shown doing heroic things, like being a superhero, not just a dude that punches the shit out of people because he has money as his superpower. He basically sacrifices himself almost to save a whole bunch of people from electrocution, and then survives it, manages to rescue all these people, and then helps with the whole cleanup of Gotham and just, you know, helping people get medevaced out and, you know, cleaning up the city and that kind of thing. And it, I'm going to confess, it brought a tear to my eye. This old soul here has been hurt so many times by Batman movies, and this is one where I'm just like, oh shit, guys, he's like doing heroic stuff, you know?
Yeah, he's trying to save some people. And it's kind of true when you
Yeah.
sort of sit back and you go, okay, the original Batman was, well, he kind of saves like all of Gotham with the balloons as he takes it away. But he doesn't really make a sacrifice. It's true.
No, he doesn't get down and dirty and like actually help the little guy, and he was doing that in this movie. And I'm like, this is a Batman I can see.
Yeah, and
leading
I
the
think that's
Justice League and like
it's a
going
good
on
point.
to be doing so many good things.
Because he wouldn't necessarily like in this one. It's the first time he's willingly sacrificed himself, like or thrown himself on top of the grenade kind of thing. In that metaphor to sort of go, oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like it's good. Why you don't agree, Peter? You shouldn't have done that.
No,
You
no,
could've-
I liked all of those aspects, and I liked that kind of twist in the end away from my understanding of Batman from watching previous movies, which is all about, you know, fear and darkness and you know, maintaining control by making sure there's an element of fear and then an understanding that it has to be about more than that. And it kind of makes me want to watch another one of these films.
Yeah.
More Battinson for me.
Yes.
Also, you guys know I love a ship. And I think that the relationship between Batman and Selena was done so nicely to the end. Like,
how did you feel about
such a nice moment
about Battinson having to put on all that eye makeup before he goes out every night?
Well,
Like, just the
it's
smoky
stupid,
eye.
but also it kind of makes sense. Like,
At
I
least
get
it's
it.
not like those other movies where you take the helmet off and there's no eye black anymore, and it's like, hang on.
True. Like I totally get that. I also, you know, what I really liked about this was how absolutely uncomfortable Robert Pattinson looked as Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne in this film, every time he's having to act like he's put on the regular clothes and go out into public as Bruce Wayne, he just looks shitty. Just shitty about having to do that. It's like, I don't want to be out here.
Yep.
Like,
And it's like, oh God, are people going to talk to me?
yeah. What the fuck am I
And that
wearing?
greasy emo hair.
Yeah, why am
Yeah.
I here? I don't give a shit. All I want to do is punch people in the
Yeah.
dark.
So I got work to do and I have to be out here doing this.
Me want to go tase some motherfuckers with my bat gloves. You know, like it was, and that's what I kind of like. I mean, this grungy anti-hero, like kind of petulant child matches right in this correct movie. It couldn't have worked in other Batman movies. Like the attitude couldn't match it because it is just so shitty. Like this is a shitty Batman. He doesn't know what
like
he's
every
really
other
doing.
Batman is like, you know, I'm too good for you guys. Like I'm rich, I got all this stuff, and you know, I'm out here doing all this hard work, and then I piss off after it's done, and I don't help anyone. But this is like complete opposite.
I also I did think it was a little bit funny that he got like so upset about his dad maybe accidentally having one person killed when he seems to have killed dozens of people during that highway chase. Like, you know, come on. Like, truck drivers' lives matter as well.
Yeah, I have to say that was very un-Batman of him to just, you know, vroom over the top of all of them and leave them in his dust.
Bat morality is not a high point here. Like, if we're gonna start with Bat morality. He's never been a particularly moral, ethical person. It's like, yeah, I don't use guns. It's like, yeah, but you cripple a lot of dudes, man.
Yeah,
like,
the hospitals are full.
yeah. How much was your donation to the Gotham, like the Gotham Spinal Ward this year? It better
the
have
Burns unit.
But as much as there was all of that, there was also that kind of nice, you know, the moments that he was having with Alfred and, you know, the moments of actual self-reflection that seemed to be happening. That I'm kind of like, oh, this is a character with dimensions. That's nice.
Sort of, but his dimension was, I will just hop myself up on adrenaline and then punch someone so hard and so often that people come up.
Oh
and
my
go,
God. I
"Holy
love
shit,
that there's
dude."
a little flap in the
Calm
suit
down.
so you can chuck an EpiPen in there. It was great. I'm like, he's thought of everything.
Yeah, like very interesting. I mean, you know, although here's one thing I had a lot of problem with. He did the same sort of bat sonar thing, didn't he? Where he was communing with bats. Did he have that one? Or did I just get really confused?
I think you
imagined that?
messed up.
Oh no, I got confused.
There were
with
bats in the
Morbius.
movie, but he wasn't like, harnessing them with
There were
his
bats
bat
like
powers.
just flapping around in the bat cave. But
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
there were a lot of bat themed
He wasn't
movies.
wielding them as an extension of his body.
I haven't seen that since the Dracula 2000 one. Or what was that one? Like, or the secret history of Dracula where he used bats like the Batterdugan.
Like Morbius.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I know. Yes, Casper, there was that really nice little like anecdotal thing of the bat in the cage, and he was kind of afraid of the bat, and that was his own fear and things. Yeah, lots of things in there, and I really liked that it was
so much
like
nuance.
yeah, it was. Dare I say it? It was a little cerebral, which was nice. Anyway, should we wave Quinny back in? Are we done with the spoilers? Or we got anything else spoilery you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
Peter, you got anything spoilery you want to talk about?
no, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm
How
done.
do
I
we
will watch it
how do we
again, though,
wave at Quinny?
happily.
Quinny, stop looking at Loki. Stop being low key. Stop being low key, Quinny, and come back to us.
Loki wondered momentarily what their father would do if he turned Thor into a ferret in the middle of the throne.
Are you actually
Is
reading
that a novel?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's quite good.
oh, nice.
Where mischief lies.
Cool.
Da-da-da-da-da. Hey.
Thanks.
Anyway, I was surprised as everyone else to see Bane in this film. It was just a strange cameo.
Oh, for fuck's sake, guys. I'm sorry being so careful.
Yeah. Also, I didn't need to see Michael Keaton turn up in it again.
No.
And you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if he did. Just like, yeah, congratulations. You are now the universe melding Michael Keaton. I love that he just turns up in things. He's like, what do I do? Do I just be something? Cool. Great. Cool.
I mean, it would have been funny if he turned up as Michael Keaton playing Birdman in the Batman.
That would have been amazing.
Sure.
Especially if it was all done in one long shot.
Look, I mean, I feel like we've done what we set out to do here, which is actively tell people to avoid one Bat-related film this week, and then actively seek out another Bat-related film this week if you've got 3 hours to spare. I mean, at least with Morbius, it was an hour and a half. It was done relatively quickly.
I feel like you've taken against the 3 hour runtime a bit, D.
I'd say this because I believe that it came so close to hitting the wrong mark by being two movies crushed into one. And I still believe that like you could either extend it out and go longer and make two movies as a double feature, or you could have just tightened up and made it more about, a certain kind of thing here. Is it a bad Batman film? No.
No.
Is it the best Batman film? No. Still no.
So far.
Okay,
well, I mean, not comparing to animated ones.
True. Look, although I still really like the Dark Knight. Dark Knight is a really good Batman film, mainly because it focuses on one villain, and the villain is really strong.
Yeah.
I went back and watched the Dark Knight again, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was just still there going, it's still fucking super strong, like, because the villain is the best.
Yeah, it's a good
I still think that The Dark Knight suffers a little bit from being a bit overlong too. Like,
yeah, but I mean, but Quinny, you're wrong on a lot of levels.
No. I think that The Dark Knight could very cheerfully end at the bit with the boats, the two boats and the explosion.
Yeah.
And the explosives on the boat. But then they go into an entire third act that is like, shit, we're still going. Yeah, right. So
Sure, it's no Return of the King, but whatever. When will it end?
Yeah. So next week, what are we doing?
Oh yeah,
that's a fucking good question.
We put it up on the thing. We've got homework. We've got everything.
We're talking about another movie next week.
Yes.
Just a single film?
One.
What?
Just one movie.
One.
Possibly half an hour faster.
Yes, I don't think it'll be incredibly long, but next week we are talking about Fresh, which you can find on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Certified fresh?
No.
Oh,
well,
just Fresh.
Interesting one. Like, and please send us your Sebastian Stan memes I'm down for it. Send me pictures of Sebastian Stan, or I don't know, post them on the
No, send me
Facebook
pictures
page
of Sebastian Stan.
of images you want of his face on this, like on this show, and I will cut them out and stick them on there because I want that too. Are we doing a Prince retrospective on Friday the 15th? Because
why? Somebody mentioned that, and I was like, "What?
Do you get it? You don't get it because that means we would do on Tuesday Fresh, and then on the Friday Prince, and then the Tuesday after Bel Air.
Oh.
It's a good one. Is it a little too cerebral?
It's a thinker.
a little too cerebral for you guys out there. Yeah. Well, honestly, I will let you know, Quinny. I have been watching Bel Air, and I have to admit, I am surprised.
I thought you might.
I'm not on board. I'm just surprised so far. There's a little teaser.
Okay.
One. Yeah, Bel Air, not what I was expecting. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
And then we've got we've got after that we've got After Yang,
which
we checked out yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday.
Watched it yesterday.
We watched it yesterday, and then we'll go back to Moon Knight, which is still coming out. There's Moon Knight tomorrow. I'm quite enjoying Moon Knight a lot. And then we've already got the May streams planned. So, oh my God, we have everything already.
We are so organized.
And I think there will probably be an Animates in there as well towards the end of this month.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm only saying that because we have to get planned because I am so away for a long time at the end of this month.
Well, yeah, like there's a whole thing of Easter and Anzac Day and all sorts of stuff all kind of smooshed together.
Two long weekends in a row, which we will, maybe we'll even do a pre-record. I don't know. Well, who knows what we're going to do? We can't.
I was very keen to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, but all of the press screenings were tonight.
Yeah, there was. Sorry, we decided to stop and do this show instead of going to see Ella.
Oh, we can't talk about ambulance.
What not ambulance?
Ambulance.
Yeah.
Oh, Casper, when's Reacher? Okay.
Oh, Casper, we'll get together and we'll just talk about it.
You're talking about the Tom Cruise Reaches, right?
No, we're talking about the good one.
I think we should do all of them. We should do the 2 Tom Cruise Reaches and the Amazon Prime TV series Reacher.
That would be interesting.
I feel like Casper has been extremely generous with the gift subs tonight. So maybe if Casper likes Reacher, I might give it a go.
Oh, yeah. Pete, you should watch it. The beefcake. Do it for the beefcake.
And also, speaking of that guy who was was he Master Chief in one of the things? I think he
was Hawk in Titans.
He was also Aquaman in
in Smallville.
He was also Raphael in the Ninja Turtle.
A year ago.
Look, I've been watching a bit of the Halo TV series.
Oh yeah,
that's also there.
I've got those episodes there, and I'm like, I'll get to it. I will.
It's a lot more Walking Dead than the Halo game. So the
same
sort of thing. Yeah, in that sort of sense of like the Walking Dead television show is very definitely its own thing, and Walking Dead source material is very definitely its own thing, and never shall they meet. I'm not quite sold on this whole Halo TV, like mainly because if you're not going to replicate the source material, why? It doesn't have
call
enough.
It something else.
Yes, it doesn't have enough.
Call it Men in Armor.
We're manly men. We're men in armor. We're going through space. Ta-da! Oh, speaking of ta-da, I've still got to see. I've still got to get into Flag Means Death. Like, there's so much out there to go through.
There's a lot of content out there. Yeah, as always. I want to shout out to all of the people who, much like I have been for the past 15 minutes, have been lurking there. I want to say hi, Olivia JD, another TV viewer, Apple Pie Chart, Atten, Commander Root, who is there every week, and I've never heard you say anything, and I love it. It's the Fritz, it's the Marginal, Caxi Pix. Oh, so many people.
It's
so
Marginal.
Just lurking, being cool. Janelle.
They're able to look. It's okay. We just want to say hi. We see you.
We love marbles. We're shouting out to you because you're there, and it's nice.
Yeah. All right. Have we got someone, Quinny, that we should go raid before we?
Oh, let's see who's out and about. You know what? What do you feel like? Do you feel like going and raiding Jordan, or do you feel like raiding Barjo?
Sure.
Cool. Excellent.
I'm just going to say sure.
Let's go and raid Jordan because she's always fun and there's always something weird happening there.
Yeah, we all love
and
that.
we love that for her.
Thanks, everyone. It's been great.
Yes,
we'll
you
catch
have
you
been
again.
great. You're all wonderful, and thank you for not spoiling anything for me.
Elf it is. Yes, very good. Dion, what do you want to do? I want to play Elf. I want to play Elf. It's a great movie. We're going to do it again.
Yay!
Thanks. I got you all. It's been too long, and suck it. All right. I'm going to say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. With martial arts from Iron Fist and Wall, I'll dap her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers Assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're right up cheeky now. Say Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Lucky Barn and arm wrestle for hours. This NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, trendy bars would be a guy's night out. We'd make that wolf pack out. I'd run with Flash and do a marathon. Vacation to the savage land for fun. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of. I wanna live in a world full of heroes. Have NPR and CNN describe the latest. I wanna tuck my kids inside and read them stories of superhuman glory while the sleepy faces beam. Wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. With martial arts from Iron Fist and Wall,